Buenos días, buenos días. Can you hear me? Ah, qué bien. Sí, dale, ya les envié también el link a ellos. Vamos a esperar a ver o escribámosles. Jose, how are you, brother? Good, good. Just waiting on your dad. So how you guys feeling? How's everybody doing? Everybody good? Bien, bien. ¿Cómo están? Good, good. Good, good. I can hear you, yeah. I just hear like an echo. You guys heaving? Can you guys see me now? Good. Yeah, I can talk. Can you hear me? That's why. You're here? Okay. So how you guys doing? Good morning. Welcome, welcome, guys. So your dad tells me a lot about you guys, and on top of that, he told me that he's been showing you guys kind of like what he's doing a little bit, but he wanted to actually, I guess, introduce you to me, the guy who actually taught or is teaching him how to trade. So hello. Now you can put a name to and a face to a name, right? So again, my name is Juan Ochoa. I've grown a good relationship with your dad. Became good buddies, man. I think to me, even your dad is like right now he's like family to me, right? He's my trading family. But aside from that, he's part of the community, the what we call the Wolf Pack. And aside from that, he's become a good friend. So if he's a good friend to me and you are his sons, believe me, you guys will also be family to me. So what questions do you guys have for me before we get started? Who wants to go first? Exactly. So how do you even start? Good. What do you have? How about you, Sergio? Introduction. Okay. So how do you even start? Introduction. Mm-hmm. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. There is some math to it, but not a lot of the math is already done for you. Most of the math you're gonna need is basic math, but everything else in regards to complicated math, it's done for you by the software. So you'll see what I'm talking about. But cool. So let's get into it. I'm gonna give you guys the official introduction. So that way you guys can see a little bit of the background of, where I come from, what I do, um, how long I've been doing it, and then, what tools do you need and how you even get started, right? To answer that question. So let me go ahead and share my screen here and let me know if you guys can see it. Give me one second. I'm about to share it. Bang, bang. And share. Cool. Can you guys see that? All right. Awesome. Give me one sec. Actually, I'm going to share it a different way because it's too small. So share. I guess it's the same thing. All right. So this is Day Trading Wolf. Day Trading Wolf is a concept. It's not who I am. It's just a concept that I built for everyone who comes and learns from the Day Trading Wolf Academy. My goal is to teach you how to trade in the stock market, but not just the stock market, but like almost every market, which you guys are going to see, and make you into a wolf. So my first question to you guys before I even introduce myself is, did you guys know that you can also make money even if the market is falling? Did you guys know that? Like if the market is selling off, did you guys know that you can also make money when the market is also falling? Okay, good. And then of course you can also make money when the market's going up. So that dynamic right there is called the bulls versus the bears, right? The bulls, like the Wall Street bull, the bull that's in New York, that bull represents the buyers in a, booming economy. That's why it's like so iconic for New York, right outside of Wall Street. The bears represent the sellers, people who think, hey, the market's already too high, or the economy is not doing good because of X, Y, Z, whatever it is, right? So what they do is they actually represent the sellers. The wolf, though, the wolf is the one who represents, we eat both ways. We are not buyers. We're not just sellers. We eat both ways. When the market's going up, we buy. When the market's going down, we sell. And both ways, in both directions, the wolf represents that, hey, doesn't matter what's going on with the economy, what's going on with the stock market. We are actually, do both. All right. So do you guys now see the concept of that? So we eat no matter what, guys. That's what. All right. So now, if we give me a sec. If we get started, so here it is. Who am I? So I'm actually the mentor and coach. My name is Juan David Ochoa. I go by JD or Lowell, right? How many years have I been trading? Like personally trading myself, 14 plus years. It's going to be now, about 15 pretty soon. And how many years have I been a mentor in trading? About 6 years. I started when COVID started. So, 2019, the end of 2019, 2020. I used to travel a lot. And in my travels, I met a lot of people. And one of my buddies, his name is Andres, he would also travel sometimes with me because he worked in IT. So, we can work remote. So he would say, like, dude, I always see you just traveling. I always see you just going here, going there. What? What the hell, man? Like, what do you do for work? So I said, I do some IT uh, contracting and I work remote, but most of my money comes from trading. He's like, trading? I go, yeah, trading. I trade the stock market. I trade all different types of things. And he would always, at first he didn't say anything. He was like, okay, cool. That sounds kind of interesting. Kind of like what you guys are saying. I want to see what this is all about. As he saw me trading and he saw me making money, he started looking at my screens and he's like, what is all that? And then he would look and he's like, holy crap, dude, did you just make all that money today? I go, yeah. And he's like, nah, man, you got to show me how to do that. I said, I don't know if I can because I don't know if I can teach anybody. That was my first thing to him. I was like, I don't know if I can teach you, man, because I I know how to trade, but I don't know if I can teach. He goes, man, one day just try. I said, all right, well, I'll think about it. Some time passed, and then that's when COVID hit. So we couldn't travel anywhere, right? You guys remember that? With COVID, we couldn't travel anywhere. We couldn't travel. So it was kind of stationary, and I was stuck at home. And he was also stuck at home. So he's like, hey, man, I got time, man. Do you have time to teach me? I really want to learn this. I said, you know what? Let's try it. So long story short, he was my first student. He was my first student back in 2020. From there, I started teaching him a little bit about how the market works and all these other things. And then from there, I saw that he was getting results. He's like, oh man, look, since based on what you've been teaching me and all that, I've been following your direction. I've been doing good. And then I started teaching him, and then he started doing really good. And he's very like out there in social media. So he likes being out there and posting his stuff. So he started posting his results. So people started hitting him up on social media, Instagram, and all the stuff. And then they're like, hey, man, teach me. And he's like, man, they're teaching me. I can't teach you. But if you want to learn from the guy who's teaching me, he referred people to me. And that's how this whole concept of the Day Trading Wolf Academy started, right? Started with that one person that said, hey, man, teach me. COVID's happened. We can't go nowhere. And then I said, you know what? Let me try it. I don't know if I'm going to be a good teacher, but let me try it. 6 years later, I have over 200 and plus students. I have 4 who are millionaires already, which is awesome. To me, that's awesome that I help someone go from, you know, zero knowledge of trading to now becoming millionaires. And then there's the other ones who are starting to actually do this as a profession now. And your dad is one of them, right? Your dad actually approached me from a mutual friend, and he said, hey, man, Matt told me that you trade and that you can teach us, blah, blah, blah. Can you teach me? I said, yeah, sure. Let's give it a try with you as well. I have a system. I have a system that I'm going to teach you guys and would teach you how to follow it. Today is more of a demonstration of what I do, but this is who I am, right? I've been trading 14 years, 6 years as a mentor, hundreds of students, and these are my social medias if you guys want to go check them out. So Day Trading Wolf on Instagram, day.trading.wolf and TikTok, and then YouTube. Right now I'm live on YouTube. I'm actually trading on YouTube live. And I'm actually up. I'm up $230 on that YouTube live that I share for free with a lot of people, right? I turn that on typically around anytime between 9 and 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. And it goes probably to like midday, maybe 12, 12:30. And the people who are part of the lives, they can actually see my trades there. They can see what I'm actually buying or selling. And, my ideas. People who actually learn from me, they know exactly what they're looking at. So they're like, oh, okay, he's thinking this and he's doing this because of that. He's buying or he's selling because of this. But anyone who just looks at the live, they just see that, oh, okay, he's up, he has this, but they don't know what they're looking at. So that's the whole idea, for you guys to come and learn and then, know what to do yourself. I love the concept of, let me teach you how to fish. Let me not just give you the fish. Because if I teach you how to fish, you're going to eat your entire life. If I'm always giving you the plays, the buys, the sells, the day I disappear because, God forbid something happened to me, or I just decided to become a monk and go to, Tibet or whatever, you guys are going to be like, oh man, we don't have the guy that used to give us the signal. No, I don't want that. I want you guys to learn how to fish so that way you know how to fish. Okay. Questions on any of the stuff that I just showed you? Guys good? Good, right? Okay. So let's continue. What is my objective and what is my purpose? My objective is to accelerate, right? Accelerate the learning process. I want to accelerate the learning process for you. What took me years to learn, I want you guys to learn it in a very short span of time. I've gotten so good at teaching my concept and my just breaking down to simple, right? Make it simple. That one of my recent students that I think Serbio told you about, his name is Jose. He started with me exactly the first time he actually took he decided to go with one-on-one with me. It was February 16th of this year. And lo and behold, this Monday, 4 months later, almost 4.5 months later, he already took out his first payout of $10,000, right? And he knew zero about trading, zero. Like he didn't know anything. He started from like not knowing even what a candlestick or what charts were or all this stuff. So he went from there, and now he knows what to do, and now he's building his trading profession. Young kid, 21 years old. How old are you guys? I know Sergio told me you guys are young too, right? You're 18. Oh man, I wish I was 18 trying to learn this. How about you, Sergio? 21. Nice. September you turn 21. Awesome. Awesome. So yeah, very young. I mean, young guys tend to get the idea of trading a little better because you guys are more like tech savvy, right? You guys can maneuver through computers like anything, right? With the older people, and again, Sergio, I don't think you are bad. Not to call you all right. I have a lot of hard times because first they need to learn how to navigate the computer as well, right? So with younger people, it's like natural to younger people where it's like, oh yeah, okay, this is an application. It's just like how the applications I use on my phone. Let me just learn how to use that application, and it's faster, right? Because for some reason, all younger people just get it, right? You guys are like built in with tech savviness. So my objective is to accelerate the learning process. My purpose before I thought it was let me make a lot of money, right? Become a multi-millionaire and become this great stockbroker. No. Actually, I was in that state where I was just making money every day, and I still make money every day, but it was empty, right? And I was like, why do I still feel empty? Even though I'm doing very well and I make money, why do I feel empty? And then when I started teaching, the little bug hit me when I first saw my first student, Andres, started to make money. He would share with me, and then other people joined, and then they would make money. I saw how that made me feel. I love to see other people win and how they share this. So, hey man, thank you. And like even just like a simple message to me of, hey man, thank you. Look, today I made X amount of money, $1,000. Today I made $2,000. Oh man, today I paid off my car. I paid off my house. Well, like to me, that filled me more than any money I was making a day. I was like, oh, this is cool. This is a cool feeling. A feeling of like having purpose. Like I'm actually helping other people. I'm helping other families. So that's my purpose now. My purpose is not to make way more money. Right? Yes, of course, everyone wants to make more money. I already know my plan and I know my direction of what I need to do personally for me. I already know what I need to do. I have like a path and I have a plan, and I'm going to help you guys create one for yourselves too. Everyone's plan is different, but I already know what I want to do financially for me. But what I really want to have as a purpose to feel like a great human being, because I want to be a good human being. I want to make sure that I have some purpose for other people, is make sure that you guys also, uh, you know, achieve those goals and dreams that you want through financial freedom. I want you guys to learn how to trade, become masters of this craft. If this is what's going to be for you, again, this is just a demo. I don't know if you guys are even going to like it, but I want to show you what I do. And if this is something you guys do want to pursue and see the potential in it, right? Because it's like a business. You got to look at the business and see if there's potential. If there's potential and you see it and you see the freedom you're going to have in time, and you're like, yeah, let's do it. Then that's what I want you to do. I want you to have that easy path by having a mentor who's been doing it so long to just show you what to do and what not to do. All right. So myself, right? Did I learn by myself? No. At the first years out of those 14 years, 13 years, is I tried learning on my own and it got hard. Right. I made money, lost money, made money, lost money until I said, you know what? No more. I'm gonna stop this. I'm gonna actually look for someone who's an expert on it, and I'm gonna ask them if they can teach me, and I'll pay them and whatever. And that's what I did. I actually paid some guys. I have two mentors. They've been doing this for 40 years. So the guys who taught me have been doing it for 40 years plus. I've been doing it for 14 years. Anytime you want to pursue anything in life, and again, this is just me talking to both of you, and even Sergio, right? Anytime you want to pursue something in life, and you say, hey, that's what I want to be. I want to be a doctor. I want to be an engineer. Look for a mentor in that. because that person's already an expert, a master, and has the experience. And they're going to tell you what to do and what not to do. And it's going to accelerate the learning process. All right. So whether you choose to become a trader through this, or whether you choose the rest of your life to become whatever it is you're going to become in the long run, right? You still look for a mentor. That person is going to guide you in the right way. That person is going to say, hey, do this, don't do that. Okay. It's going to accelerate everything for you. Easy. Make it easier for you. Don't try to be a hero. Don't try to let your ego kick in and say, no, I could do it on my own. Yes, but you're going to take time and you're going to crash and burn a lot of times, where you could have just avoided all that by finding someone who's already willing to teach you what to do. Okay. Does that make sense to you guys? Good. All right. So what is the Day Trading Wolf Academy? Like any university, right? Which I'm pretty sure you guys go to school and all that stuff. You have a curriculum. So how does the curriculum look? Looks like this. First, you're going to learn what tools you need. Second, you're going to learn the foundation of stock market trading, where trading comes from, how the machine actually works. Okay. I'm going to help you create a business trading plan. Okay. How to turn this into a business. I'm going to teach you how to perform analysis. Technical, which is charts and stuff like that, and fundamental, which is the whole news thing, how the political, like the war that's going on with Iran and all that stuff. And then fundamentals about like earnings and stuff like that, how that works and how you can use that information to make better decisions. Also, you'll learn how to choose a trading style and trading strategy. There's different trading styles, and what I mean by trading styles is there's people who like to do what I do, which is day trade. I buy and sell on the same day, and I try to make my money on the same day. And then there's people who just like to invest long term. Some people just come and tell me, hey, Juan, I want you to teach me how to invest. Teach me how to invest for my long term. I have some money. I don't want to have it just sitting and parked somewhere in a savings account that's paying me nothing, or a checking account that's paying me nothing. Teach me how to make some money on my money while I sleep, but I don't want to be involved too much. I just want to say, okay, is this a good company to buy? Like, let's say Apple, or even the new company that just came out from Elon Musk, right? I'm pretty sure you guys know who Elon Musk is, guy who created Tesla, all that. So he actually created SpaceX. So that company just came out. I had so many calls with people like, should I buy? Should I buy? Should I buy SpaceX? Should I buy? Should I buy? You guys want to take a guess what I said? What do you think I said? Yeah, Sergio was one of them. So Jose, you said no, right? Yeah, exactly. I said no, not yet. Yes. Why? Okay. So every IPO, initial public offering, like when they first launch, they boom, skyrocket. But the problem is everyone who gets in can't get out for about 90 days, 180 days, and stuff like that, if you're looking to invest long term. The people who got in before the IPO, what they call the angel investors or venture capitalists, people who were believed in the company first and they got first dibs even before they went public, they were private. Those people are the people who are looking to, as soon as it goes public, sell, because they now are millionaires, right? If they sell as soon as they think, they become multimillionaires. So usually you'll see an initial public offering just take off. And then the people who got in before it IPO, they start selling and they dump off. Once all those people actually start taking their money and all that, and then some time settles in, after some time, let's say 6 months, maybe a year into the IPO, that's where you want to start buying and investing long term, because they finally got rid of all the hype, right? The pump and then the dump, and it settles out, and then the company will grow slowly. Same thing happened to me. I learned my first lesson about IPOs with Facebook, which is now called Meta. I was in that hype. I was a young guy just like you guys, and I was like, oh, Facebook's coming out. Oh, yeah. And when it came out it IPO'd at like $9, almost $10. By the time I was able to get in, it was at $16 a share. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm buying Facebook at $16 a share. Bah. It went all the way to 19. About a month and a half later, it went all the way back down to $6. So I was down money. I was like, oh my God, I bought at 16 and it's down at 6. I'm losing $10 a share and I bought a whole bunch of it. I was like, this sucks. But I said, you know what? I still believe in the company, and I had to wait a lot of years for it to finally come up. And, now lo and behold, Facebook, which is now Meta, is worth billions and billions of dollars. And I was able to make a lot of money because I invested long term. So that's another thing. All right. So that's the trading style. Day trading, which is in and out same day, or investing long term. Trading strategies is how you look at the charts and all that. And I'll go a little bit on that in a second. All right. Any questions right now on this? No. Okay. So what else will I help you build? I'll help you build a risk management strategy, right? So in trading, every time you buy with the objective to make money, you still have risk. You have the risk of I can lose money because how about if, the stock or whatever I'm buying falls? So I help you build a strategy where no matter what, you still protect the downside, right? Which we protect ourselves with something called a stop loss. I'm not willing to lose more than this amount of money. Okay. What else will you gain? You'll gain trading experience. How? By trading and put into action what you've learned, right? What you'll learn here. What do I mean by put into action? There's times when I met with your dad because we would meet one-on-one throughout the week. Usually this is our time where we meet one-on-one, right, Sergio? You ask me questions, you say, hey, what are you thinking? We look at the market together, we look at what's going on, we look at news, and we say, all right, I think today could be a day that we can buy or a day that maybe the market's going to sell. So those days are the days that I would actually trade in front of your dad and explain to him what I was thinking, and he would be seeing me trade. And then some other days I would say, okay, now you're going to trade in front of me. What do you think is going to happen based on everything that I've been teaching you, the technical, the fundamental, and all that? And he would trade. And if I needed to correct him, I would correct him right away. I'd be like, nope, you missed this. And he said, oh, that's right. So that's kind of like what this is all about. It's a lot of hand holding at the beginning because you guys don't know what you're doing. But then after I, hand hold you for a little bit and I see you're going on your way, then, you know what you're doing, you know what you're looking for, then, you're kind of on your way, right? Teach you how to fish. So in trading, what do you need to start trading? Just a personal computer or a laptop or a tablet or an iPad or a smartphone. Any combination of at least two for learning comfort, right? Something like this, where you're looking at the market and you're executing off your phone, or you have a tablet that you're executing and you're just analyzing on another one, right? Some people have like two monitors. I have three. I have one here, one here, one here. One where I'm looking at what the market is doing and everything is doing, and then another one where I execute. I have three now because since I teach, I look at what the market's doing, what my live is going on, and also what my executions are doing. But then here's where I'm looking at what I'm teaching or what you guys are showing me based on what I'm teaching. Okay, now what else do you need aside from the physical hardware? You need time. All right, you need at least 45 minutes to an hour of your day. It doesn't have to be every day. If you do it every day, it'll be faster, the learning, right? But it doesn't have to be every day, but at least 45 minutes to an hour. And here's the other secret, right? That I found out by teaching so many students over the last 6 years. If you are a morning person, let it be the first thing you do because you're a morning person. You like to wake up early and you're bright and awake and you're doing it. If you are a night owl, then let the learning of trading be the last thing you do because why? Retention. You're more awake, you're more alert during whatever type of person you are. If you're a morning person, you're more awake, you're more likely to retain the information. A person who's a morning person and is trying to learn at night, your energy is already drained. Your energy is already drained. So if your energy is already drained, everything you're going to try to learn is not going to retain. If you're a night owl and you're more alert at night, then let it be the last thing you do because you're alert, right? If you're a night owl, you can't be the person trying to learn in the morning because you're dragging in the morning. You're like, oh my God, like I'm still trying to wake up. I don't know if do you guys see the concept of psychology there? It works. I don't know why, but it just works. Okay. I wish they would do this a little bit more in like schools, right? Like colleges, to understand that concept of psychology. Some people are just night owls, some people are just morning, and depending on how it is. Okay. So understanding the foundations of the market. If I simplify it by just showing you what they are, do you guys know what the stock market is? Do you know what the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, do you guys know any of that? Some of those. Sergio Jr. says no. All right. So what I like to do is, let me now share my screen here real quick. I like to visually, I'm a very visual person. I'm a very visual learner. And I feel like people are actually very visual as well. So let me show you guys something real quick. Can you guys see my screen? Okay. So I can show you something real quick on right here. It's called finviz.com. So it's the homepage for finviz.com. It's just, a normal, typical site where you can get a lot of information and news about the stock market. So if you come here, you'll see, and you'll also see like on TV, or when you go to the airport, there's all the TVs with like, CNBC and, Bloomberg and all that. And they're always focusing on these things called the Dow, the NASDAQ, the S&P, and the Russell. So these are what they call indexes. So indexes, just to break it down and make it simple for you guys, is a basket. All right. And by being visual, I can actually show you this map. I'm going to go to the world map. Can you guys see the world map, right? There's like North America here, South America, Africa, Europe. It's behind all these like boxes, right? So when we talk about the stock market, or when we talk about the world stock market, the world is divided by what? Countries. So if you look here, what does this say here, Sergio Jr.? Canada. So this is Canada's index fund. But just to make it more simple for you guys, it's just Canada's basket of companies that were established and, pretty much function out of Canada. So this is Canada's stock market. It's the basket of all the companies that were created and established in Canada. And instead of just calling it a simple word like a basket, they call it an index fund. Okay. This is the Cayman Islands Index Fund, which is their basket. Companies created there. Bermuda, Mexico, right? Mexico has his own thing too, right? Hey, Mexico won yesterday. Good shit. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That was awesome. They played well, man. That was an awesome game. They played very well. They look very good. I think they can beat England if England passes, right? You never know. Congo could beat. Okay, back to this, right? So Mexico got his own in this one. Brazil, you got the United Kingdom, Ireland, blah, blah, blah. China, the biggest competitor to the US, they have their own basket of stocks, right? I don't know if you guys can recognize some of them, but Alibaba, do you guys know who Alibaba is? Yep, it's like the Amazon of China, right? Lee, they have all this. Then there's Japan. Japan also has its own index fund. Some of the companies for Japan are what? Some of the most recognizable ones are Sony, Toyota, right? So these are the stock market for the world. Now, the US stock market is not even listed here because it doesn't fit. The US stock market is so big, it had to be divided into 4 different baskets, 4 different index funds. So now do you guys get the concept of the index fund? It's just a basket. So if I click on this S&P 500, what do you guys think? You guys already know it's the index S&P 500, but what do you guys think the 500 means? Exactly. Exactly. So this is the top 500 companies of the US. And it's split into sectors. Technology, which you have like companies like Nvidia, AMD, Intel, MU, Apple, Microsoft, right? Companies that you guys should know. Then you have communication services, Google, Meta, right? T-Mobile, Verizon, all this stuff. So these are the top 500. If I tell you, hey, what this is the next basket. It's called Dow Jones 30. What do you think that 30 means? Anyone want to take a guess? Same, right? So you see how easy it is? It's like, oh, common sense. The top 30 companies in the US stock market. NASDAQ 100, top 100 companies. Okay. So it's the same concept. It's just they're different baskets that people like to invest in. And then there's the Russell 2000. That's the 2000 companies in the US, right? And they're also split into this. These are the smaller companies that just got created, or they're growing to try to make it to the top dog, which is the S&P 500. Okay, simple concept. Now you guys understand what an index fund is and what a basket is of this. So normally people like to invest individually into stocks because they believe in a company. I myself teach you guys how to invest into the basket itself, so that way you're not just throwing all your money at one spot, you're throwing it into a basket that gets divided equally, and that's how it is. So on average, how much do you think someone who has good money, right? Let's say millions of dollars. I'll give you an example. Let's say $10 million. Someone has $10 million and they want to, and that's like their money that they want to invest for long term and see if they can live off that. On average, if they were to invest into, let's say, the S&P 500, how much money do you think, or how much interest, let's do it by interest, how much interest do you think they get paid per year on the S&P 500 if they invested that $10 million? Anyone know? No? 5%? Okay, 5%. How about you, Sari Jr.? Like 10.5 or an average, right? 7.5? Okay. So if we look back in the history, the average return on the stock market, it's 10% per year, which is not bad. 10% a year is really not bad on money that is just growing, right? Compounding. So that person who has $10 million, he invests $10 million into the S&P 500. He believes in the U.S. Economy, because that's how you're doing. You're investing into the U.S. economy. He put that $10 million in there. He's getting 10% a year. 10% of $10 million is $1 million a year. That person is making an interest while he sleeps $1 million a year, which is not bad. $1 million a year, that's a hell of a lot of money per year, just because he has that money parked in what? The index fund, the S&P 500, the top 500 companies on average. So normally that's how people who have money, or people who like to invest long term, they like to actually park their money. They like to invest into mutual funds or index funds. The magical word there is fund. It's a fund where the money that you deposit to invest is growing while you sleep, but it's also not being thrown just at one company, it's being thrown at a lot of companies, because you're taking advantage of the basket. Okay. And it, because that basket is divided into sectors: technology, healthcare, industrials, financials, and all that. While one sector might not be doing too good, the other sector is, right? Like right now, the financial sector is booming. The banks, they're popping. So it kind of equals out. And at the end of the year, right, the math that you guys are saying, do you need to learn math? No, the math is already done for you. At the end of the year, the average return is about 10% a year. So what does that tell us? Or what does that tell a person who, let's say, doesn't have $10 million? Man, I need to start getting some money so that I can actually start living off my money. But I need to get to a certain number where that 10% per year makes good sense to be able to just, be able to retire and go from there, right? What do you think the average? Now, here's where it is. You guys are very young, right? And talking to you about like retirement is kind of crazy, but what do you think the average retiree makes per year or per month now once they retire? Less than 60,000, right? Yep. And that's very true. About 40K. That's very true, yeah. First, they get money off Social Security, which is not very much. It's about 800 to maybe $900 a month. And then off there, if they actually saved money and they put money away into a 401k from their job that put money into the index funds, maybe they saved up, I don't know, 300,000, 400,000 in their retirement. So that 300 or 400,000, if they put it into the S&P 500, I already told you guys, it's an average of 10%. So that, let's say 300,000 times 10%, they're only making $30,000 a year on that money that they saved their whole life. So 30,000 plus Social Security, you're looking at about 40,000, 50,000. So the idea for someone who is as young as you guys is you learn how to first invest, trade on a daily, make some money on the daily, so that you can grow that money faster as you're getting to retirement. My goal now is to teach you and accelerate how you can actually turn this into a business and grow the business so fast that you're making crazy amounts of money, where now your everyday money that your business is making, your trading business is making, you're just piling to get to a point where you don't even need to wait till you're 60 something to retire. You guys at the age you are right now, you concentrate really well. It could take you, let's say, 5 to 10 years, which still puts you at what, maybe 30 for Servio Jr. and under 30 for Jose. And you guys should already be at a multi-million-dollar level where now you can just say, you know what, I'm just gonna have this money in an index fund and let it pay me 10% or whatever a year, and then just live off that or continue to work. Right. But you guys will be able to choose your financial freedom a little better. You just got to be smart about it. Does that make sense? Okay. So that's just a little bit like on top of like what the market is. So don't want to make this too long for you guys because I know you guys probably have other things to do. But let me give you an example of how we trade. So, or what trading is. So number 2 right here. So a lot of people think, what is trading? They see like a guy. You guys are probably seeing your dad, right? Look at some screens and people are like, oh, okay, I guess that's trading. No, trading is not just that. Trading is the action of buying and selling financial instruments or assets. So what are you typically buying? These are the markets that you typically buy. You're buying shares of company, individual shares. There's people who trade also Forex, which is like the money, the euro and the dollar, the peso and all that. There's people who actually trade that. There's people who trade commodities. Commodities is just another word for oil, gold, raw material. Bonds, right? This is where people who have ultra mega money, they actually buy bonds, US security bonds, because those actually pay anywhere between 2 to 5% a year, guaranteed, because it's guaranteed by who? The government. So people who have millions and millions of dollars or ultra stupid rich, they just buy bonds because to them it's guaranteed money from the government. ETFs, they're just like index funds or indices. They just they're split differently, and you would learn a little bit more about that. Interest rates is people who also make money on interest rates. But then here's how we actually look at to make money through indexes, which is the baskets. Here's the newest market, crypto, right? Not doing too good right now because of all the negative news on it. But this is a new market that was also added to those other 6 markets. So here they are, right? These are the markets that we trade. I usually focus on the basket, the 4 baskets, the US 30, the NASDAQ, the Russell, the 500. And then these are the other things. This you don't need to know too much. So here's where it becomes fun. Creating a business. So when you're starting a business, guys, what do you need? You need to have a product or a service, right? You need to either be selling something or offering some sort of service. In trading, these are our products, right? The index funds, the NASDAQ, the S&P, the Dow, the Russell. However, we invest into them not by buying shares, but by buying contracts. Typically, we like to start with the micro contract, which is 1/10 the size of this other contract. I'm going to explain to you what that means. So here's let's play a little dynamic, right? Here's how you actually make money in what we do. Here's where you guys start to understand, like, okay, what is it that my dad and, Juan do every day? We trade the NASDAQ 100 futures. So here is how it works. First, you are not, at the beginning, I tell your dad and everyone else, you are not to trade the mini because you're not there yet. In regards to experience and knowledge, you're not there yet. But you could focus on this one, the micro mini. Does that make sense? What I'm talking about? You guys see that? Okay. So how do you actually make money on this? Well, the way you make money is actually very simple. You don't need crazy math. We buy contracts. Let's say I tell you, all right, Jose, one contract here. Sorry. One contract pays $2. Pays $2 for what? Pays $2 for every $1 this thing goes in the favor that you chose. So here's the other dynamic. I'm going to say this. Jose, you decided to buy when the price of the index was at 8,000. So you said, hey, this thing is going up. I feel like I did my analysis and it seems like the market's doing very well. And I think the market's going up. So Jose says it's going up. Servio Senior says, you know what? No, Jose, I think you're wrong. I think the market is going to go down. So both of you put in a trade. Both of you bought one contract, which pays $2. Now here, what did the market actually do? The market actually went from this price, $8,000 to $8,001, right? So what was the change there? It was just $1, right? That change of price from 8,000 to 8,001 because you own a contract, Jose, and you said it was going to go up and it actually went in your favor, you just made $2 for that $1 that the market made. Does that make sense how easy that is? So if it goes $1 up, you're getting paid $2 because you own one contract. Now, Servio Senior said it was going down and it actually went against him. So Servio is actually losing, right? He's losing $2 because it went against the direction that he chose from that specific price. Does that make sense? Yes? Okay. So, give me a sec. All right. So, here comes the questions for Servio Jr. If this market actually goes up from 8,000 to 8,002, how much did your brother make on that $2 change? $4. Yeah. See the math? The math is very simple. It's just $4. For every point, we call these dollar points, that it goes up, you make $2 because you own one contract. Let me make the math a little bit more difficult, right? Which is not going to be really that difficult, but a little bit more difficult. I'm going to change the contract amount. I'm going to change it to, let's say, 3. So one contract pays you $2. 3 contracts would pay you how much? Oh, yeah. So 3 contracts. If one contract pays you $2, 3 contracts would pay you how much? 6. See how easy it is? So if it goes from 8,000 to 8,001, you're making $6. If it goes from 8,000 to 8,002, you're making $12. That makes sense? So it's not hard to understand how you make money in the business and how you make money in trading once you understand how much money you make based on, what it pays. Okay? Simple concept. $2 per contract, depending on how many contracts you own, then that's how much money you're going to make per dollar that the actual price of the index goes up or down. Okay? Same thing with the S&P 500, 50 or 5. But so here we go. For the business, you need a product. Do we have a product? Yes. Now you need money. You need funding. So a lot of people, when they start a business, they would go to the bank and say, hey, I'm starting a business. Your dad owns businesses, right? He owns the taco place, all the stuff. I think, you guys already know what he does. But for that, he needed money. So he had to go to the bank. Now, with trading, believe it or not, we don't go to banks. We go to prop firms or hedge funds. There's these companies, and I know this is something that a lot of people don't even know nowadays. There's companies that exist that manage billions of dollars for billionaires that don't even want to think about how to trade or nothing like that. They just want to say, hey, here's the money and, invest it for me. And they reach out to these hedge funds or, this thing, prop firms, and they say, here, have people who know what the hell they're doing work this money, make us some money. So that's where we come in. I teach you guys how to trade so that I can introduce you as a trader to what we call funding firms. So the funding firms are where we go and test and we show them that we can trade. And if we show them that we're good traders, they're going to let us manage capital for these people who have money. Does that mean they're going to give us the money? No. They're going to give us the login and the password to be able to trade using that money. And the promise from them is if you are a profitable trader, you guys get to make 90% of whatever you make. So I'll give you an example. I have a few funding firms that I'm funded with. And today I'm going to show you how much I've made on one of the accounts that I'm actually trading. Where is it? Where did it go? I was actually trading it while you guys were on here. First, take a guess. How much money do you think I already made this morning on this account? Anybody want to take a guess? Around 2K? Okay. How about you, Jose? Just one account. 5? Okay. 5K? Okay. You guys aimed really high. But yeah, but I still made some money. The money that I made actually, give me a sec. Which one is it? Is it this one? Right here. Yeah. Can you guys see my screen? Okay. So I made on this account $1,186.34 as of right now. Okay. And who is this? This is a company called TopStep. So TopStep is a funding firm. They're willing to give me money to manage. So if I log into my TopStep dashboard here, and I go to payouts, you guys can see all the payouts I've been getting from TopStep. So 1,800, 1,000, 1,800, 3,780, 1,400. I mean, there's a list more. I can go more and more and more. But in regards to TopStep, what TopStep is itself, it's a funding firm that says, hey, do you know how to trade? Can you prove it to us? They evaluate you. How do they evaluate you? By actually having you test trading, right? Using their platform, buying, selling, and making some money. So once you actually get funded, they release funds to you, right? They release the funds to you. And when they release the funds to you, you end up making 90% of the profit. It's a lot of money, right? So like, let's say here, 1,186. I can actually, out of this, if I was already at the point where I can withdraw money, I make about 90% of this. So close to, I don't know, 900 and something dollars out of that. And how long did it take me to make this money? Not very long. Today, if I can show you the entries, the trades. These were the trades. Uh, they don't last very long. Maybe 3 minutes here, 5 minutes here, right? Not very long. It's like within time. The thing is, I look at these things called the charts, okay? And as I'm looking at these charts, there's patterns that repeat. And I teach you guys how to recognize those patterns. Okay, I teach you guys about price levels, where you should buy, where you should sell based on, what the market is doing today. Here's the volume and all that. These are called candlesticks. So I teach you this is what we call technical analysis. I teach you how to read, they call these Japanese candlesticks. So on the right hand side here, you have your price. Remember how we were looking at the NASDAQ? The example I was giving you was the price was at 8,000. Well, no, right now the NASDAQ is at 30,214. I'll take a quick little trade here, right? Let's say here is going up. I'm going to buy one contract. Boom. Here's that one contract. Here's my stop loss. Here's how I'm willing to only risk $150. So I need this market to go up. As it's going up, it shows me here how much money I'm making. $11, $12, $5. As long as I stays above this green line. Do you guys see that? This is the price that I went in at. If the price stays above that green line, for every dollar it goes up in my favor, I'm making $2. For every dollar it goes against me, I'm losing $2. See here, you can see it here. Losing 1, losing 2, so it's just teety tottering right there, right? But me, I'm taking this long trade based on everything I've actually learned, right? I have this line here that tells me something. I have this line here that tells me something. I have this yellow line here that tells me something. So everything that I'm looking at is telling me buy. Why? Because of how it goes. Right there, you guys just saw me take the trade. It's probably been less than 2 minutes and I'm already up how much? $59, $60, right? Here's the other beautiful thing. Can I just close this out and make that money? Yes. But what I like to do is, you see my stop? I bring it up and I put it above that green line. The moment I put it above the green line, it's no longer negative. I'm locking in $30. If the market decides to fall, as soon as it comes back to that price, I'm locking in $30. If I want to close it now, see here how it says close position? I close it and it closes at whatever money I'm making. I can continue to do this. This is something I taught you, that I can continue to chase the price. And every time I chase, I'm just locking in a little bit more money. I'm just locking in a little bit more money. Just locking in a little bit more money. Okay? Do you guys see this? This is just a quick demo, quick example of it. Boom. So I just made that money. That money I just made, which was like 60 something dollars, gets added to what I have already made on the day. So now I'm up $1,250.60. See that little quick demo? How long did it take me to make that 60 something dollars? These candlesticks right here, they're measuring 1 minute. So each one represents a minute. Probably 2 minutes. 1, 2, boom, boom, $60. How many of you can say you can make $60 in 2 minutes at your job or wherever you work? Not a lot of people, right? So that's why you see the potential. A lot of people, when they start getting into trading, they see the potential in, how much money you can make. Okay. But when I showed this to your dad, he saw the potential. But then I showed him the next thing I'm about to show you guys, which, remember, we're talking about business. So the business is like this. It works like this. I can teach you how to trade. Okay. That is no question, right? No questions. I can teach you how to trade. I could teach you how to get funding from TopStep, because I already know how to get funding from them and from other companies. And once I can teach you how to trade, once I could get you funding, you're not going to be risking your own money. You're going to be growing this business so that you know how to make money daily, weekly, and even monthly. You're going to have monthly goals. And with that, now you need to grow the business. right? So your dad owns, how many do you own now, Sergio? How many of the taco spots do you own now? 3. Okay. So you have 3. Same thing with trading. With trading, that was just one of my accounts. I have over 40, right now I only have 44 accounts. So it's like a franchise. I'm not limited to just one account. I have 40 something accounts. So that's where you can start thinking franchising. If in one account I can make $150 a day, that means if I have 5 accounts and I'm making $150 a day on each one of them, I'm making $750 a day. You guys see that now? Whatever I made in one account, I can make on the other 4. Now, how do I make this a little bit more efficient? There's a software right within the platform that you can actually tell it, hey, whatever I do on this account, I want you to copy to the other account. So that way it becomes more efficient. You're not going in individually into each account. You could trade them individually, but there's software now that you can actually copy trade. So whatever you do on one account, it just copies to the others. Okay. In regards to anyone who becomes a student of mine, my goal for you, if you decide to become a student and all that, is to teach you how to get to 20 accounts. Why? Because you need to see trading as a business, not just as a hobby or a side hustle. When you see it as a business, things like this become very, very possible. Saying making money in trading. There are 252 trading days each year. Why 252? Because the market is closed on the weekends and it's closed on holidays. If you take away the weekends and the holidays, out of the 365 days in the year, there's only 252 trading days. So if you take this as a hobby, making $20 a day, which I could teach you how to make $20 a day, that's stupid. Then 20 times the 252 days, that's an extra $5,000 a year. I can teach you how to make $100 a day on one account, right? This is just one account. That's a side hustle. $100 a day turns into $25,000 a year. $500 a day. It's replacing a job, right? So pretty much whatever job you have right now, that could replace your job where you're making 126. If you take this as a career where you're making $1,000 a day, how much did I just make on one account? You guys saw me do that. That was what, like 1,200? That was just one account. I haven't even shown you the rest of my accounts that I traded today, which is just gets crazy, all right? But that $1,000 a day in trading, it's now a career, a really good career. That pays you $252 a year. If you're now doing it as a business, you're looking to make more than $2,500 a day, which now you're making this. And if you're making $5,000 a day, you now have yourself a good empire. You're making over $1.2 million a year, all right? And here's the other key thing, right? It's all psychology as well. If you do not believe you can do it, then you have no chance at all. You need to believe in yourself and that you can actually achieve these things. I myself, when my mentor showed me this, I was looking at it, I was like, man, this shit sounds like a scam. This shit sounds like blah, blah, blah. I was skeptical. I wasn't believing in it. But then I started seeing how much money I can make in one account, $100 a day. And I was like, oh, that's cool, right? Oh, I can make $300 a day in one account. That's cool. But when I started seeing this is me. These are my accounts. I was managing 5 accounts at that time. I started seeing, all right, let me try this whole replication thing. So 275, that was my main account. And then these other ones were replicating. So I made 275, 273, 275, 273, 275. The difference here by like a little small dollar is, as is closing the position on my first account, it takes like milliseconds to close the other ones. And that's why sometimes you see the difference in dollars, right? That millisecond that it takes to close the position on the replication. But I started seeing the potential because I made this in my main account, but the replication on the 5 accounts, when you add all these up, this is how much I made that day. I was like, ooh, hold up. $1,000 a day. Oh man, I'm on my way to make 252. I started getting hooked. Then I started doing this, getting more accounts, 15 accounts. This is an example of me trading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 accounts. This one right here was my main account. I made $115.50. This one, $114.50, right? So the difference there again is that delay of closing on each account. seconds. So that's why the main one had more and the other ones had a little bit less, maybe $1 less. But at the end of the day, that $115, which was less than this, because it's more accounts, I still ended up making more money because the power of replication, having more accounts. You guys see the concept there? Questions? Anything that? How do you get the accounts? Each funding firm limits you, right? They say, okay, with us you can have 5, and then you can just go to another firm, right? Because there's multiple firms. So all in all, I think right now there's about, that I know of, that actually are really good and they actually pay and they actually, follow through what they say they're gonna do for us as a trader. I'm gonna say about a good 10 to 15 firms. Some firms say, hey, with us you can have 5 accounts. Some firms say, hey, with us you can have 10 accounts. So all you're doing is you're going with 5 accounts on one firm, then you're going with another firm and get another 5 and 5, that's 10. You go to another firm, you got another 5, that's 15. You go to another firm that offers 10, that's another 10. So me myself right now, I have 44 accounts. I manage 44 accounts, and the way I trade them is I split them into 10s. So as I'm taking a trade, it's one account is copying to another 9. Then I go into once I'm done with that, and I made my objective for the day, whether it's $100 or $200, and that's what's cool. Like, even if I make $100 on 10 accounts, that's 100 times 10. That's $1,000 I just made on those 10 accounts by looking for $100 play, and that's 1,000. I have another 10. I go and make another $100. That's another $1,000. That's 2,000. Then I have another 10. I make another $100. That's 3,000. So that's how you actually can play. Or you can just copy all of them at the same time. Right now, Servio, you have how many accounts, Servio? 4 funded. Okay. And yesterday you sent me the screenshot where you made overnight before the game started because you were bored waiting for the game. You entered with 1 micro. How many accounts were you copying there? All of them. Okay. So you were copying all 22. And you ended up making what, like 2 times that, which you sent me the screenshot, and you ended up making $2,432.92. Okay, cool. There you go. 1 micro. Nice. So that's the potential here, the replication part. Okay. So when people say, man, I don't know if this is a scam or bullshit, to me, at first it was like that. But then I started seeing the money I could make with the replication and how easy it was to just say, hey, I'm going to focus on one account, and whatever I do on this account is going to do on the rest. I can definitely see myself getting at least to 1,000 a day, 2,500 a day. Right now, I'm at the point where the $5,000 a day it's very, very, very doable for me, right? Because I have so many accounts. All I need is a good $200 times my 40 accounts. I think that's $8,000, which puts me way over $5,000 a day. Okay, so that's kind of like how it works. The rest, it would be just me starting to explain to you what a candlestick and all that is. But this is the demo. The demo, you guys saw a little bit of, me taking a live trade in front of you guys with just 1 contract, and I made like $60. That account copy into 10 to other 9 accounts, right? If I made $60, who wants to give me the total of how much I made if it was 10 accounts? $600. How long did it take me? 2 minutes, right? But it didn't just take me 2 minutes. It took me years. Why did I tell you it took me years? Because it took me years of me dedicating my time to learning the craft. Once you learn the skill and once you learn the craft, no one can ever take it away from you. So that's the idea. The idea is for me, and I think your dad, the idea for you two guys is, if you decide to learn how to trade, is so that you guys can have the skill for your future and for yourselves in the future. Maybe it's not just to trade, maybe it's to invest long term as well for yourselves, right? Learn how to invest long term for yourselves. But then the idea is for you guys to also understand that you can turn this into a business. If this is what you want to learn as a professional and turn it into a business, this is just another thing you can do on the side based on whatever it is that you want to do with your life as well, right? Some people are like, you know what? Nah, I don't know if trading is going to be the thing for me because I actually want to become a doctor or I actually want to become a musician or whatever, right? Whatever your passion is. I always tell people, chase your passion. But trading, even if it's not going to be your main profession, like how it is for me, because I'm passionate about trading and I'm passionate about investing. That's my passion. This is what I do and why I do it. And then my passion is also teaching. I still tell them, like, still you learn it as a skill, learn it as an extra skill you have under your belt, because you can focus on your, musician, you can focus on whatever it is, you're becoming a doctor, an engineer, an architect, whatever it is that you want to do. But if you have this thing added to the belt, you'll learn what to do with the money that you make in that profession, whether you're a doctor, engineer, musician, whatever it is, right? The money you're making there, you're learning what to do with that money so that you can learn how to invest it here. If you want to become a professional, you could probably do both. The cool thing about trading is you don't have to dedicate your whole day to trading. You could be done in the first 20 minutes of the market open. You could be done in the first 2 hours, and then the rest of the day is for you. Me, I'm typically done by like 11:30 with my own trading. And then after that, I just dedicate myself to teaching. And then when I'm not teaching, then I'm just here at home with my wife. I just had a baby, which now I'll dedicate my time to the baby. That's it. And then pretty much that's how my days go. But I love it. I love it because it's giving me financial freedom. I love it because it's giving me purpose. And I love it because I get to enjoy the lifestyle that I want. It's also let me travel all over the world because I can take it with me anytime. I can just grab my laptop. As long as I have Wi-Fi connection, I can connect to Wi-Fi. I can connect to the stock market in these farms. Look for my trade. Boom, boom, boom. Done. I'm done in maybe 2 hours. The rest of the day is for me. So that's my spiel. I don't want to make it too long for you guys. So what do you guys think? Do you have questions for me? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, like later if you decide to do it, like okay, like why did you buy? Like what told you why to buy? Yeah, that's now getting into the technical and all that stuff. But this as the introduction, did you guys have any like questions on how the business actually works and how the curriculum also, right? You will learn what tools, the fundamentals, right? Like the whole it's kind of it's a university. It's pretty much a university where you're gonna learn how to trade. And again, you're gonna be handheld a lot too. Like if you decide to do the one-on-ones, you guys will be meeting like this with me, and then we'll be going over like everything step by step, A to Z, getting you set up on the platform, getting you set up on getting your evaluations and getting funded, getting you set up on understanding how to use the platform, how to use the tools, how to buy, how to sell. You guys will be having even like if you decide to do it, you'll also be having like a demo account that you can practice on before you even jump into it, because that's a cool thing. You can actually practice first. You can practice first, make sure you're understanding before you even jump into, all right, let me try to also now make some money. Trial and error kind of thing. So, and again, I'm here for questions that you have. Like get that sometimes, text me, right? He'll text me and be like, hey, what do you think is going on today? And I'll give him that. I also meet with your dad and the rest of the group, the rest of the students, on what we call like a group Zoom or a group. Now we're doing it through Discord, like a group Discord. And I break down my analysis for the day and I break down my projection for the next day. Like I also, with the group, say, hey, look, this is what the market did today. Here's what it could do tomorrow. So we might be looking to buy or sell based on this price and all that. So we project for the next day and are prepared, right? We're not, it's better to be prepared and then make money than just wing it, right? So I like to do those kind of calls with you guys as a group. And if you guys have any questions during that group call, you guys can ask. Your dad asked a lot of questions there. That's how he also been learning. That's how yesterday he was bored, and because the game got delayed because of rain, and he said, well, let me see what I can do. I'm gonna risk very little, but let me see if I can make some money. Went in and made some, while being bored, $2,400. That's a nice board, right? So there you go. Yeah, the opportunity is there. And what's cool about it is, again, you can take it with you anywhere, right? It's remote. You can do this from a cafeteria. You can do this, I don't know, while you're on vacation for a few hours in the day, and then get back to your vacation. It's a different. It's not like the typical job where you go work 8 hours, 9 hours. No. At the beginning, yes, you're going to be dedicating a lot of time to it because you're learning it, right? Kind of like when you go to college to learn, whatever profession it is that you're doing. You're dedicating a lot of hours and a lot of time throughout the day because you're learning the profession. Same thing with trading. Beginning, you're going to learn. But once you learn it, a few hours a day, in, out, done. See you later. Let me go and now enjoy my day. I want to go on the water. I want to go, I don't know, Six Flags. I just want to sleep. Some people just tell me, nah, man, I just want to be done with this so I could go back to sleep. Okay, cool. Did you make your money? Yes. Okay, lock out, go back to sleep. If that's what you want to do, I don't care. Like, whatever it is that you want to do with your day, just make sure you do your work first, make your money, and then, go do whatever you want. Freedom. Freedom of choice to do what you want with your time. Cool. Yeah, or even other businesses, right? Because now you're making money, you have more time, and because you're making money, you're like, oh, I always wanted to start a business in, like, your dad, right? Like, food business, right? So now he can dedicate himself to go and make sure that everything's going good at the restaurants or the spots where he has his thing. He wants to grow that business more. Cool. He has time because he has money and he has time to go and keep growing the business. Oh, he wants to start a new business. Okay, cool. He has money and he has time to go start a new one. Trading is just a complement to whatever you want to do for the rest of your life, whatever your passion is. Because I understand trading to me is a passion, but for a lot of people, maybe that's not your passion. To some people, their passion is something else. But trading just makes it a lot easier because trading will give you the money sometimes that you need so that you can do it. So, sounds good? If you guys decide that you want to do this, there's two ways you can do it. You can do it one-on-one, which is what your dad did. And that it's pretty much, we would go for like an entire year. We dedicate a year to your learning. We would meet about 3 times a week, not every day, 3 times a week, and we would only meet for an hour those 3 times a week that you guys choose. We do meet every day as a group, so you guys are also invited to those calls because you're part of the pack, right? The wolf pack. But individually, like one-on-one, we would meet 3 times a week at whatever days are more convenient for you guys, whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever. With your dad, the way I'm doing it is we meet Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays. He chose the morning. He chose the 10 a.m. So that's the time we meet. We meet from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And then we also meet at night as a group. So he'll also take the time to join the group class. And those group classes, they always go from 7 to 8 p.m. at night. And that's now as a group, but those are only Monday through Thursday. Fridays, we don't meet because the market doesn't open on Saturday and Sunday. But at least you get an additional 4 hours of learning as a group Monday through Thursday. But the individual, more like hands-on, you and me, would be whatever days you choose, 1 hour, those 3 times a week. All right, that's like for an entire year until you guys feel like, okay, cool, I learned what I needed to learn. Boom, I'm done. You could still be a part of the group even after the year, or if you want to get even more professional, you can take another year, right? Whatever it is. I have students who've been with me 4 or 5 years and they continue to learn because I don't only teach you how to trade futures, I can teach you how to trade another thing called options, leap years, investment, how to look at crude oil, a whole bunch of things, right? Trading and this whole investment thing is a huge world, and depending on which route you take and how much money you're managing, it can help you like make money in on a whole bunch of different aspects, right? But that comes with time. But the first step would be for you guys to decide if this is something that you want to try. If you want to try and you see the potential in it, whether it's just to make extra cash or turn it into a business or just gain some knowledge on how to invest for your future to maybe that you guys can, by the age of 25 or 27, you guys are really good, well off. That's awesome because you got the rest of your life to enjoy your time and everything because you have money. But whatever it is, if you guys decide, think of the days that you would separate, think of the time that would work best for you. Think if you're a morning person or a night owl, and then, make that decision. And then I guess we can go from there. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome, guys. You guys keep me posted. Again, it's a pleasure meeting both of you. Your dad to me is a very special person. He has, he has my respect. And I'm willing to make sure that your dad, gets to where he needs to be. And I know he's gonna get where he needs to be. He's finally starting to get a lot of how the juices work. With him, it's just a matter of his own psychology. He gets in his own way sometimes, but that's the thing. Like you actually become even a better person in trading because you learn how to become more patient. You let the ego go and stuff like that, and you'll see. Yes, sir. Hey, Servio, I'm up $735. Woohoo! So I'm on the live. If you guys go on the YouTube live or I lost 300 something and then I went back in. So I regained back my 300. I'm up 443 and this account that I'm actually sharing on the live, that's a personal account of mine, not funded. But that personal account copies to 20 accounts. So I'm actually up 400 and something times 20. That's good money, man. 8 grand. While I was teaching you guys a little bit of demo, right? So I enjoy this. I love this. This is what I do. Absolutely. Again, pleasure meeting you guys. See you guys. No problem. Salud a la familia. I'll see you guys. Bye. You're welcome. Bye.
cannot stand it. All I know, the flow harder than a Scotch bunny. Don't try study me, you cannot manage. This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon. This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.
Yeah, you better listen. I'm bringing heat. You'll be a fan when I start rapping. Way I'll have your fucking head spinning. I'm known as spit vicious. Release bombs and go tick tick. Boom, you blown me that head missing. I'm a phenomenon. Stacking cheese like it's Parmesan. 8 different flows, call me Octomom. I'm moving fast like the Autobahn. And I'm independent, so I'm not your fucking starving like it's Ramadan. Sick, twisted, gifted. Can't copy, printed. Can't hold me down. I shape shift, I'm liquid. I killed this beat, I might get convicted. They know how I move, it was predicted. Persistent, spoke it into existence. So consistent, no assistance. Hear me once, become addicted. If I rap it, then I live it. There's no cap and I'll be spitting this.
This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon. This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.
I just can't let you go. Lord knows that I've tried to. You said I was the only one. No one likes being lied to. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I wanna burn all the bridges between us. I can't focus, I can't forget. I've been thinking too much lately. I just need to clear my head. I just need to clear my head. I've been stuck on your memory, but it's not like I need it. And we may have some history, but we don't have to repeat it. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I'm gonna burn all the bridges between us. I can't focus, I can't forget. I've been thinking too much lately. I just need to clear my head.
town. We're searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare. Just stare 'cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. I used to kiss your head when you cried for me. Hold your hand while the pain was over. Keep you warm by the roaring sea. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. My darling dear, you're never here. When I'm in pain, you hide and disappear. Like shadows in the atmosphere, charting the stratosphere. Yeah. I prayed for you and kept you near, in hopes you'd chase away my fears. I'm on my own, you made it so, and now I'm chasing nightmares through. I used to run with you through the great big leaves, laugh at you when you laugh at me. Hope for us because I believe the home was just you and me. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, I'm gonna do this on my own. No point in blaming you, you did not know. Oh, I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, I'm gonna do this on my own. No point in blaming you, you did not know. Oh, I'm gonna do this on my own. No point in blaming you, you did not know. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me.
Order filled.
to be saved, someone to clean up and tame. Oh, some things never change, never change. Oh, you think I would look pretty on your arm once you cover up my bruises and battle scars, but it always ends the same. Can't bear the things I've had to face, got you crying on your knees in pain. Oh, some things never change, never change. Oh, you break your back to make me feel again, suffocate to make me breathe again, lose your mind from endless pain. Some things never change, never change. Oh, redemption never came. I stopped asking for forgiveness, cause you should know only fools tread where the angels fear to go, but you keep trying to get too close. Save myself by turning into stone, so save your judgment cause you just don't know. But some things never change, never change. Oh, they say I should feel guilty and change my ways, leaving crumpled bodies